The forest holds its breath. Secrets linger beneath the canopy, ancient and unsettling. For centuries, tales have spread of creatures lurking in the shadows, creatures beyond our understanding. These are the cryptids, the unproven, the stuff of myth and legend, and yet something is changing. The whispers are growing louder, fueled by a recent surge in reported attacks. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, stands as the most infamous of these cryptids. Towering, hairy, and reclusive, it has long been relegated to blurry photographs and campfire stories. But the Bigfoot of the last decade feels different, more aggressive, bolder. Reports detail encounters that are less about fleeting glimpses and more about brute force, leaving behind a trail of terrified witnesses and unanswered questions. These aren't just stories whispered around campfires anymore. These are screams echoing through the dark, a chilling symphony of fear that demands attention. Something is changing in the wilderness, a shift from curiosity to genuine danger. The question isn't whether these creatures exist, but why they are suddenly stepping out of the shadows and into our world. Redwood National Park, California, 2017. A group of hikers embarked on a routine expedition, unaware that their journey would soon transform into a desperate fight for survival. Deep within the park's ancient redwood groves, they stumbled upon something that would shatter their perception of reality, a Bigfoot, but not as they had ever imagined. This was no peaceful giant. The creature was enraged, its roars echoing through the trees, shaking the very ground beneath their feet. What started as a sighting quickly escalated into a terrifying chase. The hikers scattered, their screams swallowed by the dense forest, their peaceful retreat shattered by primal fear. One hiker, a young man named Daniel Carter, became separated from the group. His frantic calls for help went unanswered as he ran blindly through the undergrowth, the creature's heavy footsteps pounding behind him. When rescuers finally reached the scene, they found Carter badly injured, his body bearing deep scratches and bruises. His account, though fragmented and confused, painted a terrifying picture of a creature driven by something more than simple territoriality. The official explanation: a bear attack. But for those who heard Carter's story, who saw the terror etched on his face, a more sinister truth lingered. The incident at Redwood National Park served as a chilling reminder that the wilderness holds secrets best left undisturbed. 3 years later, the Appalachian Mountains became the stage for another terrifying encounter. This time, it wasn't hikers who crossed paths with the unknown, but a group of experienced hunters. They found massive footprints unlike anything they had encountered before. Then came the stench, a pungent animalistic odor that hung heavy in the air. As night fell, an unsettling feeling descended upon their camp. A large, hairy creature emerged from the darkness, its eyes gleaming with a chilling intelligence. The hunters, hardened by years of experience, were now the hunted, fleeing through the dark. Only Jenkins escaped, his mind shattered, his body bearing the scars of that night. The official narrative surrounding these incidents often crumbles under scrutiny. Reports vanish, evidence disappears, witnesses recant their testimonies, their voices hushed by a potent cocktail of fear and official pressure. This pattern of obfuscation, repeated across countless alleged cryptid encounters, has fueled a growing belief in a government cover-up. Online forums buzz with tales of deleted police reports and confiscated evidence. Freedom of Information Act requests, seeking clarity on these strange occurrences, often return heavily redacted, further fueling suspicion. Whistleblower accounts, though often dubious, whisper of government agents dispatched to silence witnesses and erase any trace of these creatures' existence. Is it merely coincidence that these incidents are so often shrouded in secrecy? Or is there a concerted effort to keep the public in the dark, to maintain the illusion of control over a world that is far stranger and more dangerous than we are led to believe? The fear in their voices is palpable, a chilling testament to the horrors they claim to have witnessed. These are the eyewitnesses, individuals who have come face to face with the unknown. Their experiences, often dismissed as hoaxes, paint a disturbing picture of government intimidation.
Sarah Miller, a park ranger, claims to have encountered a Bigfoot and was warned to remain silent. "They told me it was for my own good," she says, her voice trembling.
John Davis, a former police officer, tells a similar story. After responding to a call about a strange creature, he was ordered to drop the investigation.
These are just two voices among many, their stories echoing a chilling refrain. The individual testimonies, though often dismissed as anecdotal, gain a disturbing coherence when viewed collectively. A pattern emerges, a tapestry woven from threads of fear, secrecy, and official obfuscation. This is the anatomy of a conspiracy, a web of interconnected events and actions that point to a truth far more unsettling than the official narrative would have us believe. Consider the sheer number of reported sightings, the consistency of the descriptions across geographic locations and cultural divides. Then, factor in the government's consistent denial, the erasure of evidence, and the silencing of witnesses. The pieces of the puzzle fall into place, revealing a picture that is both intriguing and deeply unsettling. Is it possible that these creatures, these cryptids, are not merely figments of our imagination, but instead represent a very real and very dangerous threat that the government is desperately trying to contain? The government's stance on the existence of cryptids, particularly Bigfoot, has remained remarkably consistent, complete and utter denial. Despite mounting evidence, increased sightings, and a growing chorus of eyewitness accounts, official channels maintain that these creatures are nothing more than hoaxes, misidentifications, and the products of overactive imaginations.
Government spokespeople point to the lack of concrete, irrefutable evidence, dismissing blurry photographs and footprint casts as inconclusive at best. They attribute eyewitness accounts to everything from mental instability to the desire for attention, effectively discrediting the experiences of those who claim to have encountered these creatures firsthand.
This official denial, however, has only served to fuel public speculation and conspiracy theories. The more the government attempts to suppress the truth, the more determined some individuals become to uncover it. The internet has become a breeding ground for speculation, with forums and websites dedicated to exposing the supposed cover-up and piecing together the truth about cryptids and their place in our world. While Bigfoot may be the most well-known cryptid, it is by no means the only creature said to lurk in the shadows. From the depths of Loch Ness to the heights of the Himalayas, reports of strange and unknown animals have captivated the human imagination for centuries. The Loch Ness Monster, affectionately dubbed Nessie, continues to attract tourists and researchers alike to the Scottish Highlands, its existence debated with a fervor that belies its elusive nature. The chupacabra, a blood-sucking creature said to terrorize livestock in the Americas, has inspired countless legends and instilled fear in rural communities. Then there are the more obscure cryptids, the Mothman, a winged humanoid creature sighted in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The Jersey Devil, a bizarre, demonic entity said to haunt the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, and the Thunderbird, a massive bird of prey with a wingspan that can reportedly blot out the sun. These creatures, though diverse in their appearance and behavior, share a common thread. They exist at the fringes of our understanding, challenging our perceptions of the natural world, and forcing us to confront the possibility that we share our planet with creatures far stranger than we ever imagined. The question that continues to plague researchers, conspiracy theorists, and casual observers alike is simple. Why? Why would the government go to such great lengths to conceal the existence of cryptids, particularly if these creatures pose no direct threat to humanity? Several theories attempt to explain this apparent cover-up.
Some speculate that the government fears widespread panic if the public were to learn that these creatures are real. Others believe that the government may be studying these creatures in secret, hoping to exploit their unique biology or abilities for military or scientific purposes. Still, others propose a more unsettling possibility, that the government is powerless to control these creatures and seeks to avoid acknowledging a threat they cannot contain. This theory suggests that the government's silence is not a sign of malicious intent, but rather an admission of their own vulnerability in the face of the unknown.
The world of cryptids is one of shadows and whispers, of blurry photographs and tantalizing footprints that disappear as quickly as they appear. It is a world where the line between fact and fiction blurs, where the impossible seems tantalizingly within reach, yet always remains just out of grasp. The questions surrounding these creatures are as numerous as the sightings themselves. Do they truly exist, or are they merely figments of our collective imagination? If they are real, what are their origins, their motivations, their place in the intricate web of life on Earth? And perhaps most importantly, what does their existence say about our own place in the grand scheme of things? These are questions that have haunted humanity for centuries, questions that continue to fascinate and terrify us in equal measure. As we venture deeper into the unknown, armed with technology and driven by an insatiable curiosity, we must confront the possibility that the answers we seek may be far stranger and more unsettling than we ever imagined. The search for cryptids is ultimately a search for ourselves. It is a journey into the heart of the unknown, a quest to understand the boundaries of our own perception and the limits of the natural world. It forces us to confront the possibility that we are not alone, that the creatures of myth and legend may be more than just stories whispered around campfires. The evidence, though often circumstantial and open to interpretation, continues to mount. The eyewitness accounts, though sometimes dismissed as unreliable, paint a compelling picture of a world far stranger than we ever imagined. The government's continued denial, rather than quelling speculation, only serves to fuel the flames of conspiracy and deepen the mystery. As we stand at the precipice of discovery, the question remains, are we ready to face the truth, whatever it may be? Are we prepared to accept that the creatures we thought existed only in our imaginations may in fact be our neighbors, sharing this planet with us, hidden in plain sight?